Well, hello, dear friend. This is Hemi. Today I want to speak from the subject decoding Elohim in Hebrew. Decoding Elohim in Hebrew. And Elohim is translated into English as God, as simply God. But I want to submit to you that Elohim and its translation God are not the same. When you say God, you do get a picture of the supreme being in heaven, in the creator, the most high. And I believe that that is not bad in and of itself. But when you start looking at Elohim and we break it down, you would say, oh, there is a difference, or at least the Hebrews saw that there was a tremendous difference between what we would say God and the meaning that we would have in God and the meaning that they would have in Elohim. So I want to teach you the meaning that they would have in Elohim today. And we're going to have some fun with Gematria, the study of numbers. So let's get into the teaching. Genesis 1:1. Genesis 1:1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, let me read that in Hebrew. It says, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve'et ha'eretz. That's in beginning, Elohim, or God, created the heaven and the earth. That word God is Elohim. And Elohim consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consonants. And the reason why Elohim and God are not a word for word translation is because in Hebrew, you understand the composite of a person's name by understanding the letters that make up their name. So if we really want to look at what the meaning of Elohim is, we have to understand the letters that make up Elohim. So let's look at the letters. The first one is Aleph. Now, Aleph means father. It's a picture of an ox. And it's a symbol for the Most High Yahweh, El Elyon, the Most High God, the Most High Yahweh. So when we see the Aleph, many times we can think in our minds, Aleph means Yahweh, okay? The second letter is the Lamed. The Lamed is a staff, and it signifies guidance or instruction or teaching. The third one is the Hay. And the Hay means to behold, but it's more than just looking and beholding something. It's really meaning to grasp it in your innermost being. And then the fourth is the Yud. The Yud is the hand. It's the hand and the forearm, actually. And it really symbolizes power and might. And the fifth letter is the Mem. The Mem symbolizes water or the flow, the water or the flow. And so when you put those 5 consonants together, you can get several sentence variations out of it. One of them is this: the Most High Yahweh will lead you and guide you through the waters as you take his hand, or the Most High Yahweh will lead you and guide you through the waters as he takes your hand. Okay. Now, why is that important? Elohim. Well, go to Matthew chapter 14, verse 22. Show you something really change your life. 14:22. It says, and straightway Jesus, or Yahshua, constrained his disciples to get into a ship and go before him unto the other side while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a high mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus or Yeshua went unto them walking on the water. And when the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were troubled, saying, is it a spirit? And they cried out for fear. So they were in the boat. The boat was contrary. And they see Yeshua walking on the sea. They didn't know who it was. They thought it was a ghost or something. And they were afraid. Verse number 27. But straightway Jesus, Yeshua spake unto them, saying, now watch this, be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. Be of good cheer, it is I. Now when you see that it is I, in the Hebrew, it is anihu, and it's really I am he. I am he. What is significant about that? What is one of the names of the name, not one of the, but the name, not a descriptor of the Most High, Yahweh is Yahweh. And he says in Exodus 3:14, it's I am that I am. So when Yeshua tells them, Anihu, he said, I am he. The disciples in the boat, they are registering that now as Yeshua saying that he is the great I am of Exodus 3:14, 3:15. That's going on in their minds when they hear him say that. Now look at verse number 28. Verse 28, and Peter answered and said unto him, Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come on the water. If you really are that I am, bid me to come on the water. Why? Because I know the real Elohim is signified by the Aleph, being the Most High, by the Lamed, by guidance and instruction, by the Hay, grasping it in the spirit, by his hand, his power and his might, and in the waters. So now I'm in the waters and I'm about to drown, Peter says, and if you said, Anihu, I am he, and you are saying really that you are Elohim, if you are Elohim, do what your name describes your ability to do, bid me to come on the waters. Wow. You can never see that in English. Verse number 30. Verse 29. And he said, come. Yeah, I'm Elohim. It's my hand, my power, my might. Behold it. I really want you to behold. I want you to get it. I want you to get it in your spirit. And the only way you can get it in your spirit is just for you to come. Wow. And he said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on water to go to Yeshua. He walked on water to go to Yeshua. Why was he able to go to walk on water going to Yeshua? It was because Yeshua was Elohim. He was Elohim. He was living out the description of those 5 consonants, Elohim. Wow. Verse number 30. But when he behold, watch this. When he behold, the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Lord, save me. And then there's a lot of contention. I believe the Lord in mention is really Yahweh, and the New Testament writers didn't write Yud He Vav He. They wrote Lord pretty much the way they did in the Old Testament. But verse number 30 again. And when the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Lord, save me. What he was saying is, Yeshua, do what your name says you can do, because Yeshua means Yahweh or Yah saves. that is Yahweh, Yah, that's the proper name of the Most High. Elohim is a descriptor of the Most High. Elohim and Yahweh, they living out the names now in this storyline. And many times we have missed it. We have missed it totally. So when Peter and the rest of them were living this, they were getting a first-hand witness that this is Yeshua. Yahweh saves. Yah saves. This is Yahweh, the great I am. This is Elohim. And those 5 consonants coming together, they were living the gospel. Verse number 31. Immediately, Yeshua stretched forth his hand, and caught him, just like Elohim. Elohim is the Aleph, that's the Most High. The Lamed, the instruction. Yeshua told Peter, come. That was the instruction. Peter was beholding Yahweh, but he took his eyes off of Yahweh, and then Yeshua, and he began to sink. And then Yeshua stretched forth his hand and grabbed him and saved him in the waters. Wow, that was what Elohim means. Verse 31, and immediately Yeshua stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Oh my God, that's powerful. I've never heard that story, that narrative like that before. But then I began to go a little bit further. I began to look at the gematria of it all. The gematria is the numbers. And when I looked at Elohim, the Aleph having being the first letter, the Lamed being the 12th letter, the Hey being the 5th letter, the Yud being the 10th letter, and the Mem being the 13th letter. When you add all of those numbers up, you come up with the number 41. 41. Then I began to say, what other verses in the Bible have a gematria or share the number 41? Because they really may have some synergy between the two. And I found one word that had 41, and that is the word im. And the word im in Hebrew is mother. Oh my God. I began to say, this is amazing. So Elohim 41, and we really get Father, Most High. And then 41 is also the number that makes up Im, 40. The numeric value of Mem is 40, and the numeric value of Alpha is 1. Now I said, now you get 41. But you notice that we arrived at those numbers in 2 different ways of doing gematria, because there's several ways that you can do gematria in Hebrew. So the first one, well, we got 41 for Elohim, is by adding the numbers sequentially. And then we got Im 41 by adding the numbers in that numeric value. And I began to say, well, they're both 41, but how we got them, arrived at them, are different. And then it was like the Holy Spirit said, well, that's the way the mother and the father is. The mother and father, they are one, but they have different functions. You arrive at them, they are arrived at differently. So Elohim and Im, mother, share the same values. I say, okay, Lord, I need to search this out a little bit more. Then I began to look at this. If you add the 4 and 1, 41 from Elohim, and the 14 or 1 and 4 from mother Im, you add them together straight across, you get 4 plus 1, which is 5, and then you get 1 plus 4, which is 5. when you add them two together, when you marry them two, what do you get? You get the number 10. And 10 symbolizes completion. If you want to be technical and drop the 0 from the 10 in gematria, and you're left with 1. And what is that 1? Elohim. The Elohim. That is the Most High. Elohim, the Most High. Man, that was the most astounding thing that I have seen. That when you start studying the scriptures in Hebrew, and you go to the Hebrew roots of the sword, it changes everything. Track with me in August. We're going to be learning more about the Hebrew roots. We're going to be learning more about the Hebrew roots. Any questions about today's teaching, please hit me up. All right, track with me later in the Moon of Spirit. Bye-bye.